We just stepped out of the flamenco museum. It was amazing, and now I want to take flamenco lessons.
Long
What? No.
Oh, yo.
Right now we are in the center of the Cathedral de Sevilla, and it is massive. We have never been in a cathedral this big. A lot of the churches in South America were inspired by these.
This is huge. Now we're surrounded by a bunch of Spanish middle schoolers.
That right there, we just learned, is Christopher Columbus. I'm not sure if that's his remains or if that's just a statue dedicated to him.
They seem to love their oranges here. Sevilla is now one of our favorite cities. I think I could live here. This is the view from our balcony in Ronda.
Welcome to Ronda, the city on the plateau. As we hike down these trails, Anne and Morgan are identifying all of the plants, so it takes about twice as long to get anywhere. We just found an iris
And black licorice, fennel, Funiculum vulgare, which is this airy plant right here. So if you could smell it, it smells like black licorice. And then the fennel seeds are right here. And you can see from here. So those are the fennel seeds. So technically you could eat them.
Oh, Mom. Okay.
I want one.
Yeah, tastes like fennel.
Right up there is where our hotel room is.
For Mom's birthday, we went to a Europa League soccer game in Sevilla and they won. It was awesome.
The Football Club de Sevilla won 2-0. The fans right behind the goal stood up and sang the entire time.
It was nuts. They had signs, they had a drum line. The Spanish
Loved to wave giant flags and block everyone behind them.
They love their football here. They had an entire line of police dressed in riot gear that hung out around the stadium and in the section where the rival fans hung out.
Fight through the SWAT team before you were able to fight the opposing team.
Yeah, and there was no alcohol allowed in the stadium, so when you showed up about an hour early, there was just a massive crowd of people all pre-gaming and drinking beer and
Vodka,
partying
whiskey.
outside.
They were pre-gaming hard.
It was a great experience.
So, we hiked right along this road right up here, and then we followed the road all the way up to the pass right in the mountains right there, right next to the horse stables. And then we hiked along this ridge all the way up to here.
To here? Here?
Many hams hang from some of the shop windows. You'll walk into a small little shop and you'll just see clustered against the ceiling all these hanging salted hams. Spain is a place where hams hang like a bushel of grapes. Here I am in the Ronda bull ring. Back in the old days, all of the noblemen had to serve in the military, and they would serve in the cavalry, where they would ride their horses. This is a caballero, one of the places where they would learn and train the horses. Right outside is a section where they would keep all the bulls, right before the bulls would go into the bull ring. You can see that this is one of the pens that they keep all the bulls in, behind these wooden walls where you would hide from the bull so it wouldn't stab you as you're trying to feed it or take care of it. And then from here there are gates that would open and let the bull into the staging section right before the ring. So right through this door they have this cage for the bulls, give them shots, give them brands, and then through this very skinny door, so a bull cannot follow you, they'd bring the bulls around. And this is the staging section. Right here are all the doors with the ropes that open them. Behind each one is where they'd keep the bulls. This is one of the rooms. And you can see the horn gashes from the bulls right on the door. After listening to it, the bullfight would happen in 3 phases. The first phase is the matador would come out with all of his entourage, and then the bull would come out, and I think they would give the bull one quick stab to kind of de-stress him from all of the shipping. The second stage, they would stab the 3 spears into the bulls' necks, and this was usually done by the assistants, but sometimes the really cocky bullfighters would do it themselves. The third stage is where the bullfighter would face the matador 1-to-1, and there would be some flourish where the matador would use the cape and get very close to the bull, and then the matador would use a special curved sword to give the bull a quick kill by stabbing it in the heart. Then the matador would cut off its ears as a trophy, and they would hang up the bull, quarter it, and sell it to the local restaurants. So they would eat the bull at the end, so it's not going to waste. This right here is where the bull would rush out of the corridor, and right above it, this is where the government officials, like the mayor, would sit, and right above the mayor, this is like the only ornate piece in the bullfighting ring, and this is where the royalty would sit. We also learned that this was the first bull ring ever made from stone. It was also the first bull ring where the matador would face the bull on foot. I guess before, the matador would always face the bull from horseback. museum that we went to, inside the center of the bridge. That's the window we were looking out. And Morgan has a joke for you.
Nope.
These are the Turkish baths in Ronda. Right over here is where the reception room was. And then behind me you have cool steam room, medium steam room, and a hot steam room. And then right behind that you have a fireplace that heats up the floor of all three to make them nice and hot. When they say bathhouse, I think they kind of like mean big steam room house. So I'm standing right now in the cold room. This is the semi-heated room, the medium room, and over here is the extra spicy room. Water wheel that was used to pull the water into the baths. A donkey would pull the water up, little elevator system. Cold water going over there. Gets splashed on the hot floor, makes a whole bunch of steam. Sexy man massages in the center. Cool yourself down in the very end. A couple cold tubs. And right down here, the reception area had a giant pool for drinking out of. And this was all back in like 1300-ish. And this was an Islamic bath, an Arab bath.
We're about to go to Morocco and experience the hammams for ourselves.
Morgan is going to tell you another joke.
Knock knock.
Who's there? This has been our view for the last couple of days, and I am going to miss Ronda so much. The streets are so clean, the meat is so salty, and the wine is so delicious. Right now, Morgan is packing up in the room, and I'm just taking a last little stroll around the hotel. What? Dun, 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 dun.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Thank you for coming and joining us in Spain. We had such a good time and you truly spoiled us.
It was an absolute treat. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Now we are back to eating top ramen, instant coffee, and we're headed to Morocco.